Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this section we'll finally start working with React. React is a library that's used for creating user interfaces. What makes React unique to any other library is that everything is done with components. Imagine each component as a building block for your website. And all of these components, once you combine them together, make up a complex component that builds up all of the UI for your website. For example, imagine one component builds up the UI for a search bar on your web page. That component would be represented like so, search bar. Don't worry too much about the syntax, we'll go over it in more depth once we start writing React code. And you also have another component which builds up the UI for a blog post on your web page. That component would be represented as blog post. By taking these components and combining them together, we can create a more complex component that builds up your entire web page. Simply enough, this web page component is made up of two subcomponents, search bar and blog post, which combined together make up the entire web page. This is known as the compositional model, and it's what we're going to be using to build up our user interfaces. Another distinction of React is its virtual DOM. These components that we just talked about are made up of elements. These elements are what describe the UI of your web page. With our virtual DOM, React takes care of all of the hard work of converting the elements that you created to DOM nodes, which are passed into the actual DOM and render the appropriate UI on your web page. And just one last thing before we start working with React is that React is just JavaScript. Hence the ES6 JavaScript crash course at the beginning of the course. If you have previous experience with JavaScript, you should have no problem following along with the React tutorials. If you are a JavaScript beginner, however, no worries. I always make sure that every line of code is explained, but I would recommend that you check out the ES6 crash course before moving on with the tutorials.